Our parties like to begin? Or
Yes.
yes. So let me just start the recording. Perfect. Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. The time is 10:09 a.m. This proceeding is hereby called to order. This is the third day of the proceedings before the Massachusetts Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission in the matter of Robert Devine. The hearing is closed to the public pursuant to an order issued by the hearing officer on May 30th, 2025. We are convening in person and only necessary commission staff are permitted to observe the hearing. This hearing is being audio and video recorded, and the parties should speak directly into the microphone to ensure that the audio in the recording is clear. The commission is represented by attorney Shaun Martinez, and the respondent is represented by attorney Robert Stowe. My name is Elizabeth Smith, and I'm the hearings administrator for the commission. The Honorable Kenneth J. Fishman will serve as the hearing officer over these proceedings. And before we begin, I would like to remind the parties to use initials when referring to any alleged victims or minors, and to use a page's specific Bates number when referring to any exhibit. And this matter is now before Judge Fishman.
Good morning. Counsel, would state their appearances for the record, please.
Yes, Shaun Martinez for the Division of Police Standards.
Robert Stowe on behalf of Robert Devine.
Mr. Devine is present as well. All right, before we resume the testimony, just to go over a few things. We suspended on June 6th because of the issue relating to various transcripts and recordings and other materials that had been represented, had been turned over to the commission, but had not been received. Subsequently, Mr. Martinez explored that issue with the Stoughton Police Department, was provided with additional transcript tapes and other materials from Stoughton Police after June 6th, and has shared those both with us and with Mr. Stowe as well, my understanding. Before we go on, I wanted to find out, Mr. Martinez, whether the department or the chief or whomever you were dealing with ultimately indicated to you where they were located and or any reason why they're not provided initially to post.
So, Your Honor, I believe that the electronic exhibits, the flash drive that I had provided, were received from the investigator battalion, and they were on a USB drive. And then the interview transcripts, which were printed, essentially the way that the internal affairs investigation was kept was that there was the binder with the internal affairs investigation report as well as the listed exhibits. And then there was a binder with the interview transcripts. And from my understanding, that binder of interview transcripts was never scanned. And the way that the Post Commission had received the internal affairs investigation with the exhibits was a digitally scanned copy. And from my understanding is that although there were two binders, only the one binder containing the IA report was originally provided.
So I didn't understand that until now. So Post actually had it. I mean, the division had it, just hadn't scanned it.
No. The Stoughton Police Department had two physical binders.
Oh, they hadn't scanned it.
Correct. They had not scanned it.
That's what
yes.
Okay.
Yes, the division did do a search of our records, including the assigned investigator, and we never received a copy of the interview transcripts.
The division had requested that a few documents which were received subsequent to the hearing be examined in camera, which I have done because I issued an order yesterday, I think, that indicated that I was going to honor the request to withhold them. For the reasons stated in my order, I'm not going to revisit that, but I said they're properly withheld. I do want to, of course, mark those for identification and have them sealed in case there's a need for any review subsequently. So can we arrange to do that?
Yeah.
All right. The other documents that we received have, well, it really depends on what happens with them ultimately, but because there is a discrete issue about possibly about why production wasn't made originally, I think as a group, they ought to be marked for identification. If parties want to introduce any part of that group, any documents from within that group as exhibits, they just would move those into evidence during the course of this hearing, and we could rule individually on those documents. But I think the group, it's important to have a group of documents recently obtained by the division and provided to the respondent and to the commission be marked as a group as the next exhibit for identification. All right. And I'll let you let us know at some point what those identification numbers are.
Sure.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may, I
Sure.
did submit a flash drive with the transcripts on them.
Right.
And I believe they were scanned in by Ms. Smith, and I thank you for your assistance. I got a PDF yesterday, and it's 190 pages, and I believe that is the physical transcripts that are involved. So I have intended to try to introduce them today as we go, but
So they're part of the larger body of documents that were received by the division and provided to us that were marking for ID. You certainly can move any document from that group you want into evidence, and we'll see what, if there's any objection, I'll deal with it. So you have it in a workable form now because they were scanned in, and you just, at the appropriate time, why don't you just move them into evidence?
Okay.
All right. Is that okay?
yes. But the first page on it is actually what I did was scanned in. It was my letter to Ms. Smith saying that here's what they are.
Okay.
So I don't know that that's should be in there, shouldn't be in there. Maybe that can be removed later on. But
It's part of. I don't know that it needs to be a record for the hearing. It's part of the documents received by the. It's a cover letter, is what you're saying.
right, yes. But I'll be referring to the when they were scanned in 190 pages. So I went through the 190 pages and coordinated my notes. So that when we got to them during the hearing, I could refer
Right.
to
So this, once we get past these preliminary discussions, if you feel it's appropriate to move them in at that time, why don't you do that, make a decision, so you can work with them if you need to work with them during the course of the hearing. Let's see.
Your Honor, as to those new documents, if they're, I do expect to reference one more. Does the hearing officer and staff have access to that OneDrive folder, or should I separately send the file that I expect to refer to?
Within that, that's contained within that OneDrive
Correct.
folder. Yeah. Can you pull documents out of the OneDrive folder?
Yes, I have access to it. So if you just tell us what the document is when you introduce it, we can pull that.
Thank you.
So before we get on with witnesses, are there any other preliminary issues that either party wants to make the division?
So I believe collectively the parties have submitted all of the interview transcripts for admission, as well as the interview warnings that Mr. Devine reportedly signed. I do think it would make sense at this stage to introduce all those.
Okay, so you both want all the transcripts of all the interviews in, is that what you're saying?
So
yes.
if we're in agreement, I think you had left out, or Mr. Attorney Stowe had left out one transcript, which I submitted this morning, and then the interview warnings, which I also submitted this morning.
Oh, okay. So the 190-page submission plus the two that you proposed today,
Correct,
are what you're both proposing to be introduced into evidence?
Wasn't produced since we were here last. I think the transcript was from before. It was from another time.
So I think that there may be some confusion. If I'm able to.
I have in front of me. You're saying that was part of the recently received transcripts.
So essentially, there were two folders, one from the USB drive and one from the interview transcripts. The USB drive had the same, most of the transcripts, but in Word form, and then the interview transcripts were in PDF form. I think that may be where the confusion lies.
Which did this come from?
So that certainly came from the PDF files that were scanned but let me double check if it's in the. Actually, it is in both. Excuse me. It was in both folders. Well, one was, I believe, originally Word format and one was PDF format. But it is in both folders.
And Mr. Stowe, you seem to be indicating that you thought this came from some other.
I thought I got it before. I thought it was provided in another format. I didn't think it was provided recently. And it doesn't judge me.
Are you objecting to it?
I don't object.
By the way, it has a cover sheet, and is that the way it appears in the how you received it? T8 interview, or is that something you folks added?
So the hard copies had those cover pages. I don't believe that the copies on the USB drive did. And I think, for example, the copies of the transcript that Attorney Stowe provided are 1 or 2 pages off from my notes, and I believe that that's the reason, is because there's essentially 2 different forms of each interview transcript.
Are you just trying to make this even more confusing?
I've been, doing mental cartwheels all morning, trying to figure out where those page numbers went wrong, and I think that's it.
Okay. Well, let's do this. I'm gonna, and you know that it's not just the interview that the division is proposing over and above the submission that you've prepared that's been scanned. It's also, has indicated a warning that is indicated purportedly signed by Mr. Devine, and those are being proposed. Do you have any objection to those?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so I don't know if that's the next one.
Yes, that's the next one. So
the warnings will be exhibit number 12, and the interview will be 13, and then the submission, the remainder of the interview transcripts will be as a group. Mark the next exhibit after that, 15th, I gather, or whatever however you say.
14, I believe.
Yes, yeah, that's true. 14 comes after 13. Okay. All right, thank you. Let's. So, is there anything else then we have to deal with preliminarily? All right, and
Your Honor, there is with regard to Mr. reached out to him. He recently had back surgery, so we don't expect him to be here today.
Okay.
So his affidavit is part of the record, so we're not.
We can talk about that afterwards. We won't expect him today. Let's talk about how you want to deal with this, whether an affidavit would be acceptable to both parties or whatever. But thank you for letting us know. I gather Holmes is here today.
Yes, I saw him this morning.
We'll continue with his cross-examination. Why don't we bring him in? Somebody want to get him? Right, Holmes, I'll remind you that you're still under oath, and would you state your name for the record, please?
Brian Holmes.
Thank you. We were in the midst of cross-examination of Holmes, but we suspended. So, Mr. Stowe, you ready to continue?
I am, Your Honor.
Sorry, before I begin, we're going to please swear the witness again.
I just reminded him he's still under
Okay,
oath. So
sorry, just want to check.
No.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Jeff.
Mr. Holmes, I believe when we left off, we had discussed an encounter alleged by SB that on March 19 or about March 19, 2020, she had met with a Rob, and she later recounted that version of what happened on 8/16/2020 and described it differently. Do you recall that, sir?
No.
Do you
I remember going through a series of questions. I don't remember that one specifically.
Okay. I asked if he has the exhibits. I asked you to look at the exhibit pages 502 through 513, sir.
We have at 502.
You're 502. I want you to read 502 through 513 to yourself to see if it refreshes your memory, sir.
So I want to make sure I'm reading in the right spot, Counsel.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Is that correct?
Everything except for that last part. I didn't see that, but I agree that we talked about it.
I want to draw your attention to page 513 and 514. The last entry on 513, sir.
Yes, I see here on 514.
And on 514, BK1, right?
Correct.
Now, sir, I want to draw your attention to page 526 to 530.
Okay.
Okay. So two different versions of the same event, correct?
Yes.
Now, let's turn to 538. Sir. 538. And, I want you to read the pages leading up to that 530 through 538.
Okay.
On is that a continuation of the exchange
Yes.
and that's regarding the same event, right?
Yes.
And did I say that correctly, sir?
Yes.
Well, what would that mean, sir? If you recall, what is your understanding of what that means?
Objection, Your Honor.
Grounds?
Calls for speculations.
No, I'll allow the answer. Overruled.
It means, sir.
And that was on August 16 of 2020, correct?
Yes.
Do you recall if SB stated how she went over to Rob's house for that event that she was describing in two different fashions here?
I remember being mentioned. I don't remember when.
I want to draw your attention to page 541.
I'm sorry. 5 what?
541. Now, throughout this email chain, sir, you would agree with me that Billy Farwell is looking for a story.
Objection.
Billy Farwell was acting like a pervert, wasn't he, sir?
Objection.
Same.
Sir, did you have the opportunity to read page 541?
Yes.
Now, you know Mr. Devine, right? You've known him for years.
Yes.
You know his wife, right?
I do.
You know his children, correct?
Yeah. To a lesser degree. Yes.
He's got a daughter. We discussed her earlier, last time we were here, correct?
Yes.
He's got a son. Is that correct?
Yes.
You know his son's name? So, and he also has a couple of big German shepherds that never stop barking when you call. He has a couple of German shepherds, sir?
No.
No. You're not familiar if he has any dogs.
I know. Yeah. Dachshund. A mix. I think. I don't really remember.
Well, you guys kind of dissolved the friendship years ago, correct?
Yes.
So she represented that she just kind of went over to his house that right? And this, did you ever, you collected 50,000 plus pages of text messages and email messages, is that correct?
Yes,
All kinds of phone records, right?
yes,
Did you ever find a phone call from Mr. Devine to SB asking her to come over?
I found an audio call, Facebook audio call. I didn't find any phone call that I can recall.
Found an audio, did you hear his voice in an audio call?
No, it was just a record that an audio call through FaceTime was made somewhere in this record.
Did you identify that as evidence in the case at all, sir?
It's in the exhibit.
Was that part of the Marty Riggs exchange?
Yes,
Okay. So back on, I want to talk about back on March of 2020, did you find any communications between SB and Mr. Devine requesting or having SB go over to his house?
no,
So there's nothing to corroborate her even going to his house, correct?
No.
No, there's nothing to corroborate or no?
there's nothing to corroborate other than the substance of the text messages exchanges coming from her to Billy.
And there's never been any phone calls that you've been able to directly connect to Mr. Devine, is that correct?
I don't believe so, no.
So, and you're aware that Mr. Devine has a daughter and a son who would be home. Most likely be home at this time, correct?
Objection.
Sustaining that form.
Well, Mr. Devine had a daughter and a son. Is that correct? Back in March of 2020?
Yes,
Would it make sense to you that this young woman would just show up at his house?
Objection.
Sustained.
Sir, you were doing an evaluation of this evidence, is that correct?
yes,
And when you do your evaluation of the evidence, you look at things that make sense to you, is that correct?
sure,
And you track down things that make sense and don't make sense, and kind of evaluate the evidence in that fashion, right?
yes,
And when you were evaluating this evidence, you got to say, listen, we've got this text message that says you just showed up at his house out of the blue. Did you ever think while you're doing your evaluation that this didn't make any sense?
That's a tough question. I mean, you're talking about something that I was doing years ago. I mean, I was looking at the evidence and evaluating it.
When you evaluate the evidence, would you look at this evidence in your normal fashion and normal practice and say, hey, listen, we need to find out who might be home at that time?
No, I don't think so.
You wouldn't have done that?
I don't think so. I don't believe I did.
Now, during the same time frame, March of 2020 through August of 2020, when we had the change in the virgin offender, she was also having communications with a Joshua Bell. I'm sorry, Joshua Keel. Is that correct?
Yes.
I want to draw your attention to page 401. I'm sorry. 608. I'm sorry. It was 401 the date the conversation.
608, you said?
608. Yes. It was a conversation on 401.
Okay, 608.
Now, actually, I want you to go up to page 605 and read through 608.
I don't know if they're labeled a different way. I don't have the numbers. 608. 5? Yeah.
605 and 608.
607 is the very last text is overwritten. Okay.
605 to 607, do you know who that's an exchange between, sir? The conversation from 605 to 607. Did you ever follow up on who this conversation was with, who these people were?
So this is black case. This is in sporadic order. I may have identified who it was through Cellbrite. I don't remember right now.
What's the word you use? Black case?
Black case is the original data format that I received the thumb drive on. Later, after the cell phone was cracked, it came in Cellbrite form.
Gotcha.
Were you ever able to confirm that there was a communication between Mr. Devine and anyone regarding people coming to his house on September 29, 2019?
No.
And is that something you would have checked?
I may have. I don't know. There was a lot of data poured through. A lot of work that went into this.
Now, I want to go to Mr. Heald. Page 608.
Okay.
Read page 608 through 610 to yourself, sir.
You said stop at 610?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Could you tell me the participants to that conversation, sir? So whoever this Rob is at this point, she doesn't want anything to do with him, correct?
According to this, yes.
And that was on April 1 of 2020, right?
Yes.
And she never mentions the name Devine in this exchange, correct?
Right.
Now, talk briefly about these text messages and what you have and what you don't have, what you could extract and not extract. And are you aware that SB has had text messages back in 2017?
I'm vaguely familiar with the time frame. That sounds accurate.
But the only documents you got were for approximately a year that you produced to us were for a year. And there were 50,000 pages in approximately a year of her communicating with others.
Objection.
I actually don't understand the question. Why don't you rephrase that?
Well, there are approximately 50,000 plus, more than 50,000 plus pages of text and email messages, correct? That you secured from SB's phone.
To put a number on the black case file, it was somewhere in the neighborhood of anywhere from 30 to 50,000. And then Cellbrite, I couldn't even give you a number or a time frame.
It was more,
A lot more.
a lot more. So 100,000 pages.
I said I couldn't even give you a number.
It's a lot for years of extraction of records. Is that correct?
Sure.
And how is it you put together these documents? Because these documents are part of the report. How did you pick these specific documents out of all of those?
So there was basically anything that had evidentiary value or anything that that was conversations with SB and anybody who was involved with this case.
In the documents you have are PDF searchable, aren't they?
The black case was PDF searchable. Cellbrite was you'd have to select stuff and print and it's more like an Excel format.
And did you just type in the name Rob and this is what came up?
I did a large amount of filtered searches. So using Cellbrite program, you'd go in, you'd select the file that you were working on, and you could put in anything for search criteria.
And you put in a search criteria for the name Rob in these instances. Is that
Sure, I did.
And this is what came up, right?
Not in these documents. So Cellbrite was a lot more selective, a lot more refined to be able to filter searches.
And so far, the only reference to Devine was a conversation from 2019 that we can't identify the participants in. That begins at page 605.
There's no reference to Devine that I located. Everything is referenced as Rob.
Now, in SB kept her text messages back to 2017, didn't she?
I don't know when she kept it back to. I
Page
think what I did.
572. Sir, take a look at page 572.
Just before we leave this, to make sure I'm following this, if you look at page 605, so am I reading this right?
Yes.
Okay. I thought I just heard there was no mention of Devine, and maybe I misunderstood.
Sure, I stand corrected, Ron.
I believe, Judge, my question was geared toward the only reference we had is between what the Devine was between these participants we couldn't identify at the end of page 605.
Oh, because we don't know who's talking here, is what you're saying.
Correct.
I got you.
And it's from 2019.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Page 572, sir. I believe my question was whether or not SB kept her records back in 2017. Did you read the first entry on page 572? SB had kept their text messages back in 2017. Is that fair to say?
According to this, yes.
Page 579. You read page 579 to yourself, sir. Bless you. Thank you. Bless you, sorry. The last entry on our page, sir. SB writes.
I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong page.
579.
That's correct.
So, would you have text messages from your extraction that go back to 2017, sir?
I don't remember reading any.
And the ones you did search, and you searched for Mr. Devine, this is the only thing you came up with was what we have here. It is exhibits in this form, correct?
Correct.
Right.
According to what we've reviewed here today, yes.
Now, I want you to read pages 580 to 587.
580 to 587.
Yes, sir. Next 2 minutes.
Okay.
That appears to be an exchange between whom? Is that fair to say?
The user's not identified. I can't say that it's somebody from the department or not.
And the person she graduated with, who was a dispatcher at the time, who worked for the police department, was a Mr. Kavanaugh. Is that right?
Yes.
We briefly discussed Mr. Kavanaugh before, and in the meantime, you provided us his transcript, right? Well, we've been provided the transcript.
He was a witness in this case.
And he was a dispatcher that you interviewed?
He was.
He graduated with her?
Yes.
So someone reading this would lead you to believe that this was Mr. Callan, correct?
Objection.
No, I'll allow whether that's what you concluded at the time.
I later identified through Cellbrite, Mr. Kavanaugh having conversations with SB, and he was identified as a witness. I can't say that it was this one text exchange.
So in this exchange, the name Robert Devine comes up. Why? Why? What's the significance of that in this exchange?
Objection.
So again, I'll allow your state of mind at the time that you saw the name Robert Devine. What did you conclude? Robert Devine.
I mean, they're talking about Rob Devine. That's long and the short of this conversation.
They've eliminated Robert Devine in this conversation, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing where, I'm not seeing that in this conversation. They're trying to identify somebody at the PD. They figure it out that it's a dispatcher. So, I mean, I didn't draw any one conclusion based on this one exchange.
Now, I want to draw your attention to page 589. Another conversation from 2019. This is approximately 2 weeks later from the ones we were just looking at, I believe.
Okay. Yes.
So those people are so popular with her that they actually have codes between these two people, right?
I mean, I was aware that she created codes, and she talked about it.
It wasn't a code from Robert Devine, was there?
Apparently not.
Yeah, he wasn't in their loop, was he?
I mean, I didn't draw that conclusion from this.
He wasn't significant enough to them to have a code for him because they didn't talk about it all the time, right?
Objection.
Sustained.
They didn't have a code to Mr. Devine, right?
I don't know that.
Why did you select this particular exchange, sir, as evidence in this case?
Objection.
What was your state of mind?
You're asking why he included that in this report.
Yes.
It's overruled.
So the whole thing is an exhibit. The whole exchange, all of it is an exhibit. It wasn't just one exhibit. So in totality, there was pieces of each of these conversations that were evidence.
Why would you select this particular entry from August 25, 2019?
Your Honor, I'm going to object again because the division are the ones who selected this group of text messages. That's how the exhibits for this were created.
It wasn't attached to his investigative report.
So it's, from my recollection, it's included in the hard drive, but not in the IA report.
That's what I meant.
Yes.
You disagree with that? So,
I'd have to go back through all the 500 pages and look at it, Judge. I can't do that right now. Do you see any significance to this exchange as it relates to Mr. Devine? And when I say the exchange, I'm specifically referring to pages 589 to 590 from a conversation on August 25, 2019.
I mean, the significance is that he's mentioned. It's noteworthy that there's codes A, B, C, D, and E, or whatever she ended up having. If you were suggesting that he's eliminated from this, then I don't disagree with you from the codes.
Okay. Did you ever go back to try to find out who the persons identified as A, B, C, D, and E were?
I probably did.
Did you put that in your report?
I probably did not.
Would you have kept any notes anywhere about who these people are?
Maybe. I mean, it's a pretty large case file. I mean, the entire Cellbrite hard drive is an exhibit in this case.
Well, Cellbrite is in your notes, is it?
Cellbrite is not my notes.
Did you keep any notes relative to who A, B, C, and D were?
I don't think I wrote down who A, B, C, D, and E were.
Did you find any communication from Rob Devine as set forth at page 589 on about August 25, 2019?
If you're, I'm so sorry. What are you asking me? You did.
Did you ever find any kind of communication between SB and Robert Devine that you could attribute to this statement?
Just the communication with the Facebook alias.
Well, this is 2019. The Facebook alias is what Facebook alias?
Marty Riggs.
Okay, Marty Riggs wasn't until November of 2020,
Okay.
right? So this is 2019. Back in 2019, on or about August 25, 2019, did you find any communication between Robert Devine and SB that you could attribute to her response? Now, I want to draw your attention to, Judge, this is the photograph I discussed.
Right, we're just not going to put that up on the screen.
I draw your attention to a photograph, an email, page 603.
Okay. 603.
And this is part of that exchange we earlier discussed from August 16 of 2020.
Yes.
What is your understanding as to what that was?
I mean, I have to go back and establish why it was in there. I mean,
Okay, you can go back. Please go back and refresh. You can see what it says. So you are drawing the conclusion that that is a picture of Mr. Devine's penis.
we're not.
You're not.
No.
So whose penis is that?
I don't know.
You don't know. You ever try to find out if there was an exchange between SB and Mr. Devine wherein he sent her a picture of his penis?
We first had to identify what account he was using, so we did our best to try to discover whether or not anything like that happened.
Okay. And you found, aside from the Mighty Riggs documents, we'll leave those aside, you found nothing that was an exchange between SB and Mr. Devine that you could link to this photograph, correct?
That's correct.
You had no communication at all between them except for what you claim is the Mighty Riggs files, right?
I don't believe I located any other communication other than the Marty Riggs account.
We already went over it. 604, 606. 606. I want to draw your attention to page 612. Page 612 to yourself.
You did.
Did you ever find before the Marty Riggs documents, which are in November of 2020, did you ever find any communications between Rob Devine and SB that could be attributed to her texting Rob on or about May 14, 2020?
You said other than Marty Riggs?
Yes.
No, I didn't.
Marty Riggs we agree that Marty Riggs started until November.
I'd have to read it, but if you're saying that that's what the case file says, then I'm not disputing that.
It's page 614. You know who that exchange is between?
Appears to be, yes.
And during your investigation, you learned that SB had regular communications with Matthew Farwell, correct?
Yes.
Regular communications with William Farwell, correct?
Yes.
Regular communications with Joshua Heel, correct?
Yes.
They're all police officers working for the Stowe Police Department, or animal control officer working for the Stowe Police Department back in 2020 and 2021,
Correct.
correct? So talking to any one of them, you can get schedules from each other. Okay? Is that fair to say?
Sorry, what are you asking me?
Yeah, well, I'll withdraw the question. Is there a schedule that people know each other's schedules and who's working and things like that?
Yes.
So she could get any of the information she wanted regarding, where Mr. Devine might be from others, correct?
Sure.
Now, page 621. So page 620. Page 620 and 621 should sound so. Now, the name Rob is referenced in that exchange, sir.
Yes.
Who's that exchange between?
It's another exchange with Josh Hill.
And that's on October 21 of 2020, correct?
Yes.
And what is discussed in that exchange, sir? In the first part, halfway through page 26. Can you tell us why certain of these text messages have double entries in them? For example, page 622.
Sure, that's a technological flaw of the black case system.
What is your understanding of the flaw?
It's replicating messages.
Are you an expert in the black case system?
And not.
Sir, I want to change gears because I believe we've gone through all those messages. talk to you about Marty Riggs documents. I believe they start at page 355. Now, sir, when entering onto you have familiarity with entering onto a iMessage account? How you get onto it?
I mean, Facebook Messenger. I'm familiar with that.
Okay. How does one create a Facebook Messenger account?
You have to have a Facebook account, I think. Download the Facebook Messenger app.
And who does that?
The user.
User. Is that the person who owns the account?
Yes.
And then the owner of the account sends out messages to people for them to respond, right?
Yes.
So the first entries in the account should be from the person who created the account, right?
Sure.
Now, it's your assertion, is it not, that there are similarities in these Mighty Rig extractions which parallel Robert Devine's life, and therefore Robert Devine is in fact this Mighty Rig's character that's here, right?
I mean, I didn't characterize it like you described it, but
So
yes.
why don't you use your own words? What do you
Based
ground
on the evidence, I drew the inference that it was your client.
And you drew the inference that it was a Stoughton Police Officer, correct?
Yes.
Despite the fact that Mighty Rig documents never even mention the word Stoughton, correct?
I mean, it may. I have to look at the whole thing.
And you found other aliases that you tracked down, didn't you, sir?
I don't remember if I did.
Tara Michelle. Remember that?
Yeah, she was identified.
And you put her in your report, didn't you, sir?
I believe I did.
It's at page 40.
You want to go to page 40?
When you drafted your report, what was the significance of this alias, Tara Michelle? Making a finding against Mr. Devine.
So she.
And you recall finding another alias of Superman 167?
I vaguely remember that, yes. I don't remember if I put it in here or not.
We go back to page 355. Is that part of your claim against him for actions on becoming an officer?
I believe it is.
Page 385. I want you to read page 385 through 386 or so. Actually, it's 387.
Okay.
Does that document what you're claiming Mr. Devine did as Marty Riggs? Well, you'll agree with me, sir, that what is a chateau, first of all?
It's a restaurant.
And where is the chateau in Stowe?
The 1100 block of Park Street.
And you're aware that there are 10 chateau restaurants. Are you, sir?
I know they're a franchise.
For French, I think there's one in Norwood, right?
Yes.
There's one in Braintree.
Don't know where the other ones are, but I know that there's more than one.
Franklin, Norton, and those ring a bell?
Nope.
How close is Braintree to Stowe?
20 minutes,
How close is Norwood to Stowe?
20 minutes.
And where was SB living on or about November 2020?
Canton, I believe.
Anywhere in this document. Sorry, you said there was another location in this document, sir, that references a section.
Yes, I remember reading it.
Is it possible you can find it for us?
Try. What was the pages you just referred to? Sorry, between 416 and 422, Your Honor. Okay. I think that was it. I didn't read the very beginning of the conversation. Could have been more, but that's my memory. Those are the references.
So those are references, right?
Yes.
And as you're reading through these documents, you see a lot of.
Yes.
So when the exchange was made on page 385, and the conversation was on page 385, you know the tense or the tone of the message, whether or not it was funny? They were joking around. Is there anything to corroborate that SB actually went there?
Other than the text messages, no.
Is there anything following up that corroborates their meeting? And you're surmising that this is Marty Riggs's Robert Devine. Why?
He's having a conversation with SB. The timeliness of him being admitted to the bar is in sync with the discussions in here. He's a movie fan. I know that he likes movies because I like some of the same ones. It would not be unrealistic for him to pick a name like that for a screen name. And then the conversation that he ends up having with SB. And then, knowledge of the town, things like that.
Now, it was common knowledge around the Stoughton Police Department that Mr. Devine was becoming a lawyer. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And was it common knowledge when he was going to be sworn in?
I don't know. It wasn't something that was talked about. So
But everyone knew he was going to law school, right?
yes.
And it would be public knowledge if he was being sworn in on a particular day, wouldn't it?
If he talked about it, I'm sure.
And you understand that Mr. Devine says that this Marty Riggs is not him, right?
Right.
So the only communication you have, Mr. Devine, that you believe can draw to Mr. Devine is 2.5 months of communications. That is the Marty Riggs communications we have here.
It sounds accurate what you're saying. There could be other references in this case file, but off the top of my head, that sounds accurate.
You had how many people working with you on this case?
Myself, mainly one guy, and then two additional people that were helping out.
Mr. Fries,
Yes,
who was it?
Lieutenant Bob Fries, retired MSP. He was in the district attorney's detective unit, I think in the Cape in Plymouth County. Retired, got his private investigator's license, and he does part-time police work for some small towns in Plymouth County.
And was it, Mr. Italiani?
Paul Littleline,
Lily, sorry.
retired captain, Mass State Police, same scenario. You know, he did work for the different investigative units of the Mass State Police, came highly recommended. And then there was a Sergeant Mike Bates, who ran a private IT company.
Sergeant Mike Bates.
Sergeant Mike Bates.
So he helped you with the IT.
Yes.
And beyond those three individuals, do you have any other help, sir?
I mean, town council helped out with reviewing documents. Other than that, no.
Well, you also had help, did you not, from the state police? Trooper Dunn?
Lieutenant Fanning was the guy who was sharing information with me.
Lieutenant Fanning, he would give you information, right?
Yes.
And he was investigating this as well. So you had the state police and you had three individuals assisting you. You had you and you had town council going through all of these records, right?
Right.
And based upon a joint effort, it's your opinion that the only records you found that you can attribute to Mr. Devine and the entire life of SB are what's here in my case for 2.5 months. Is that correct, sir?
Could you ask that again?
For the entire life of SB. She represented that she kept her records back in 2017. She didn't delete anything, right? In her entire life, the only communications you can, or you are claiming, or you found that you are claiming or allege, are these Marty Riggs documents, which is a 2.5 month window in time.
Objection. The question is seeking information far outside the relevancy of this hearing. If he's asking about her entire life.
No, I'll allow it. See if you had any information beyond what's been referenced.
Sure. What you're describing is there.
Now, when one opens an account, sir, iMessage account, they can create a username. Is that fair to say?
Sure.
And that name can be changed on the account, can be changed anytime they want, right?
Yes.
And you're aware that SB created her own name for the account, right? Do you have a signing name or anything like that?
I mean, she's a user. It's obvious from the content here.
And she can change her username to anything she wants, is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, we know that between March of 2020 and August of 2020, SB created a version of fact where she had a relationship with with a Rob. And is that correct?
Yes.
And she started telling people about it, such as Mr. Heel on April 1 of 20, correct?
Correct.
And we know from the context of his communications that Billy Farwell was trying to get more stories out of her. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you know from your investigation that SB gravitated towards the drama.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Her aunt, I think it was her aunt who told you, right? Her cousin, second cousin, told you that. In an interview.
Probably. If you're referencing, she probably told me that.
Did you read any of the interviews before you came in today?
No.
But she liked drama. She liked to create drama. Right?
Sure.
So I'm going to switch gears. When we were last here, we discussed portions of your IA report, but we didn't have the transcripts, and we've gotten the transcripts since you're aware of that, correct?
I am now.
And I'm going to take them in order. Page 44. You interviewed him. Is that correct?
I did.
Who was
She lives in Salty, and she was I don't know if it was a second cousin of SB.
and she met through Facebook. Is that correct? I'm sorry. Yeah, she Facebook. Recall that?
I don't.
Can we double screen it? Yes.
Yeah.
I have the transcripts, and I want to go to page 35. The transcripts that
I think that's in the new documents yesterday.
Okay.
documents from yesterday. Yes, I'm sorry. I was
The 190 pages you were referring to.
Yes. I don't like my glasses. I lost my glasses in front of me. Oh. Okay. Yes.
So pages that.
This one is the individual one. I'm pulling up the binder.
Where were we looking? No, I know it's. Oh,
Page 35 should be page 4 of that. Oh, you have them that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pulling up the binder now.
And I'll just type them up.
Right here.
We can do it that way too. I want to do them individually with page numbers, but I think one of them doesn't have.
Okay, if that works for you, but I think we can also pull up the binder. I think we just found it.
Well, we have it here, right in front of us, right? We have the transcript and the report.
Right, but one of the transcripts I plan to use doesn't have page numbers. All the other ones do.
What's the page again?
Should be pages, there should be 190 pages. I think that says 200,
Lizzie, could you just send me the link again? Yep, over email.
35.
Yes. And this is of the like full combined pages, correct? Just the one that the parties have. You want that
Just
one?
agreed to today.
Yeah, okay.
That's the original one.
Lizzie, could you email it to me? Yeah.
You found, that's what we had from that I think from.
Yes. Sorry, just give me 1 minute.
Here's some documents. Do you see that?
All right. All right. Here we go. Sorry about that.
Before we go there, so how much more time would you estimate will be with this witness?
Judge, I could be here a couple hours, I'm sorry.
You have a couple more hours with him?
I may have another, I have to go through, I plan to go through the transcripts we got, because they contain a lot of information that we didn't know about before.
I can't hear you.
I plan to go through the transcripts, Judge.
All right.
And then we have the journal.
Okay.
Sir, I believe I asked you that she reached out to strike that. You did the interview of, is that correct?
I did.
And she told you that she was SB reached out to her through Facebook. Is that correct?
I can't remember if it says that's what she did, then that's what she did.
Okay. If you go down to that's incorrect. If you go down to the halfway through, 3/4 way down, it says is that correct, sir? That there was a Facebook, she Facebooked there?
Sure.
So I just want to make sure, because it seems that SB Facebooked everybody. Facebook was her favorite way to communicate with people. Did you get that impression as you went through these interviews?
No, I mean, she communicated with a lot of people. I agree with you.
Thousands of, within a year, it was tens of thousands of communications, right?
Yes.
It's it's an insane amount of communication. Would you agree that it raised the question of her mental state?
Objection.
Let's say.
So she learned about her pregnancy from SB, correct?
Yes.
And
Can you tell me what page you're on?
Sounds 35.
35.
and remember that in your conversation?
Vaguely.
Page 42. Halfway down. Right there. So, is that what she told you, sir?
I got the sense that it was trying to provide some life coaching to SP. That's accurate.
That's actually what she said, right?
Yes.
So when I go through your IA report, you conjure up the image of SB having a mental deficiencies, correct?
Sure, I'd agree with that.
But here's her cousin who spoke with her, and she thinks she's making the right decision. She's grown up, right?
Yes.
But her second cousin questioned her honesty, didn't she?
At some point in the conversation, I remember words to that effect.
Now, that never made it to your IA report, did it? That she questioned her honesty.
Sure, it's right in the transcripts, which is part of my AA report.
Well, your IA report is on the right, sir. In your narrative of it. We could scroll down on the right, page 44. So you should have page 44.
He wasn't provided the additional documents that were submitted via the flash drive.
On the right side is
Oh, sorry.
page 44.
Page 134.
You never included in your IA report narrative about your interview that she challenged the honesty of SB, did you, sir?
No.
But your memory is that she did challenge her honesty.
Yes.
On page 4. You know, I think I could throw on a page here. Okay, can I go to page 35 again? Paragraph. It was her opinion, was it not, sir, that she told you that when she spoke with Trooper Dunn, that SB was putting a lot of pressure on, correct?
Yes.
And throughout your investigation, it was your belief that, in fact, Matthew Farwell was the father of the child, right?
Generally, yes.
And we now know
Objection.
that he's
One
not.
second, it's objection. What's the objection?
He's going to, I expect Attorney Stowe is going to cite to unsubstantiated media reports about DNA testing that was done.
Is that where you're going?
I am, Judge. I can't get the records protected. But there's been
Well,
a lot of information about this.
I don't know what that means, information. You mean people saying it in the media?
It's in the media, yes, sir.
I'm going to sustain the objection.
So SB was trying to get Matthew Farwell to change his life and become part of her life and participate in the birth of the child of the baby, right?
Correct.
And the aunt was and the cousin was concerned about that, right?
Right.
And the cousin actually met with her, right?
I don't remember.
Well, I told you that she had access to now. One of the things you asked her, sir, was whether or not she ever heard the name Robert Devine. Correct?
I'm sure I did.
And what was her response?
I think she said no.
Did you put that in your report, your IA report?
I did not. I mean,
Is that
I put a summary of the interview, so it could be in there. I don't remember.
well, here's a summary. We go through it and put page 44, I believe you should have in front of you, sir.
No, I didn't reference it in the summary of the interview.
And when you went to police academy, you were trained that anything that was relevant should go in your report. Is that correct?
It's in the transcript, so it's in my report.
Oh, you didn't provide the transcripts. You didn't see the transcript until now, right?
It's not on me. I provided everything that I thought I was supposed to give to post.
But you never put into your IA report that she never heard about the name Robert Devine. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Page 49. No, not here. Page 49. Now, I asked you if she had met with her a few minutes ago. Do you remember that, sir?
I do.
We scroll up a little more. Go down a little more. Sorry. Starts with Brian Holmes. Okay. There was a response. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So this is a person who had communication with SB, met with SB 1 month before her death, right?
It says she connected with her. I
Connected with her.
don't see where it says they met.
And she confided in her cousin about the birth of the child, about pregnancies. Is that correct?
Yes.
She confided her cousin about her sexual relationships with Matthew Barwell.
Yes.
And when you asked her about Robert Devine, she never heard of him. Right?
I mean, if that's what the record reflects, then that's what I asked her, and that's what her answer was.
But that's not the report. In your report, your item, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Next one, it's the original documents, page 48. So you interviewed a
Yes, I did.
scroll down, please. No, this was was SB's roommate in college in years 2019 and 2020, correct?
Yes.
And he was kind of more than a roommate because he went out with her all the time, right?
I mean, they were roommates, they knew each other. I remember they took a car trip to Stoughton. It's in the transcripts, whatever whatever he told me. I don't remember that.
Page 185 of the new stuff. He told you.
He did.
Did that ever make it into your IA report?
Nope.
And told you that, didn't you, sir?
If that's what the record shows, then that's what he told me.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So that would have been in 2020 that he lived with her, right?
Yes.
And he was actually her roommate before COVID struck, and then they broke up for a bit, and they got back together. And 2 other roommates, right?
I don't remember that part about getting back together, but what you're saying about COVID and things coming to a halt is accurate.
Okay. But you never put in your report that he denied knowing the right?
Right.
And this was a person who she drove around with, and she confided in him that she had slept with Matthew Farwell and William Farwell several times.
That's correct. If that's what's reflected in the record, then yes.
Now, you also showed him a text message. You asked him if you wrote it. Remember that, sir?
I don't.
Page 181.
181.
181, yes. You showed him a text message that actually had his name on it, right? You identified with his name on it.
I don't think I ever did.
Runner, if I may, I didn't have this on the drive, but this was an attachment to this transcript.
Ever recently provided material.
Yes, yes.
You know what he's referring to.
Yes, I do.
Judge, are you offering it?
I am to.
Any objection?
That's fine, Your Honor.
The next exhibit, what are we up to?
So that would be the Respondent Exhibit 27.
Sorry,
Does the witness have a copy?
he does. Sir, I showed you a text message string, and on it, it has handwritten. This is what we got. This is what was with the attachment.
Well,
Okay,
actually, oh, you have it.
I only have one. I don't know how many copies of this.
I can make a copy. So is this related to?
I think it still says A2. It's
Oh,
the same
sorry.
text message.
So why do I have it? You know where the text message is for 8-9, sir?
I don't.
Let me ask something. You see in your interview, why is there's 2?
Oh, Your Honor, his father sat in on the interview with him.
Oh, and that's Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
And Jeremy asked, what's the date in that? Is that right?
Yes.
The answer is 8/9.
Yes.
And in the document we both have in front of us, which is now Exhibit 20, Exhibit 27, you see that there's a reference in that text to
If you look to the third line of the text message, sir,
I see that. Okay.
are you showing the text message, sir?
I believe I showed him this.
You showed him that.
I believe I did.
And that was his phone number that you had put in the square, correct?
I believe it was.
And it says the sender is that phone number, correct?
Yes.
And he stated to you,
I'll just take it at that. What's the point?
well, the point is just that others have
Ask the
said,
witness a question, but I'm not sure where we're going.
now, there was an instance where you asked Officer Kavanaugh if he was participating in an email exchange, and he said he had not. Remember that, sir?
Well, Kavanaugh's a dispatcher, and I don't remember a lot of the interview with him either.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, it's a little after 12:30. I think we could all use a break. We'll take our lunch break at this time. So, get back here at 1:30.
That's not good.
Everyone is here, so this is a question just before the parties do their exam of the witness. I just wanted to clarify for the record that the attachment that the respondent introduced will be response to 19, just to continue with our numbering. And we will send an updated exit list to the parties following the hearing, just so everyone can be consistent with numbering.
Stowe, you may continue.
I want to draw your attention, sir, to page 49 of the original.
Okay.
You took the statement of an Andrea Saka,
I did.
and she connected with Miss Devine. Sorry. Talking away there. SB, when SB was about 21 or 22 years old, through social media.
She had her as a student. That's what she met her. She reconnected, I believe, after she became an adult.
And again, that was on Facebook Messenger, right?
Yes.
And she confided in Miss Saka that she was pregnant twice, right?
I believe so.
Now, on page 49 of your report, which is up here, you indicated that correct?
Yeah, it should be, yes.
And that's because that's the only thing she needed help in was math, right?
I don't know. I mean, she had a lot of social struggles, so I don't know if
Social struggles are not educational issues, are they, sir?
one has something to do with the other.
Well, she was struggling with math.
I believe that's what was reported, yes.
And that's what Miss Saka was her math teacher, right?
I believe so.
And Miss Saka said that she wouldn't call her one of the most needy students. She definitely struggled with math. So that was the main area that she needed help in, right?
Sounds right.
But your report makes it sound like she has major social issues. Is that true?
She had social issues. That's true.
But she also said, did she not? She questioned SB's honesty, correct?
That sounds right.
The report is silent as to Ms. Wasoka questioning SB's honesty. Isn't that true?
I don't remember if I put it in there or not. I remember she mentioned talking about stories.
Well, so there you go. Could you please look at your page 49? 49 to 50 and tell me if you mentioned in the IA report that Ms. Wasoka represented to you that SB would lie. We could go to the new documents. Page 17. What page? What page is 17 there? I want to draw your attention to Mr. Kavanaugh, which I believe is the oldest documents, begins at page 50. Who's Brian Kavanaugh, sir?
Dispatcher.
And we briefly discussed him the last time we were here, didn't we, sir?
Yes.
And you discussed with him, did you not, that there was an email that SB had written that said she had gone to Rob's house with a dispatcher from Stoughton Police Department?
It sounds familiar. It was not an email. No.
What was it?
It wasn't an email. I thought it was a text message.
Text message? The iMessage?
One of those. Yep.
And he agreed with you that it sounded like him. It's a dispatcher, somebody who graduated. She graduated with school, Stoughton PD. You remember that, sir?
I don't.
70. The new documents.
You looking for?
Page 70 of the new documents. I wanted to keep that.
Sorry.
You present for his interview, sir?
Yes.
And, Officer Fries asks him, wait, scroll up. Oh, there we are. Asked him, he's never been to, just scroll down a little, down. So you had an email that sounded, or text message that sounded like it was Officer Kavanaugh, but it wasn't. Is that true?
I have to see the email. I mean, you keep talking about it in an email, a text, an iMessage.
Well, that was his testimony to you, his statement to you, right? And you found him credible.
I did. That's accurate. That's a transcription.
So the transcriptions are all accurate, sir?
These ones are accurate.
Are there any that are inaccurate?
I'm sure that there's some out there in the world that are inaccurate, if that's what you're asking me. I reviewed them. I kept an audio file of all of them. and that became an exhibit in the report.
Okay. Now, in your report, he also told you that SB never mentioned Robert Devine in any capacity, correct?
If that's what the record indicates, then yes.
But she mentioned her relationship with Matthew Farwell, right?
Same answer. I mean, if that's what the record has up there, then that's accurate.
Now, there's also a text exchange that discusses him being on probation. That exchange was with SB. Do you recall that?
No.
Page 74. Robert Fries asks in the middle of the page,
Sure, that's accurate.
so you've got another email out there by someone saying that they didn't author it, that was being passed off as theirs. Right?
I don't follow you.
Well, we discussed a little while ago about an email that I believe it was said he didn't author, correct?
That was talking about the text message.
Yeah. You said he didn't author that.
Sure, he denied that was him.
Now we have another email where Officer Kavanaugh says he didn't author that email, correct?
I guess so.
Now, Mr. Devine had told you that sometimes SB would just show up places, right?
It sounds accurate.
And Mr. Kavanaugh, as we previously discussed, unfriended her on his Facebook, right?
I don't blocked her.
Blocked her.
Yeah, blocked her.
And he represented that she would just show up at different places, right?
Sure, that sounds accurate.
I want to go down. I go to transition over to Sergeant Hardy, and his IA report starts at page 59. Who was Sergeant Hardy? Who is Sergeant Hardy? So he still is.
Roger Hardy is right now he's an acting lieutenant. At the time he was a sergeant. Around about 1997.
And he worked with Mr. Devine, correct?
He did.
He started his position with DARE in the year 2000 at Doyle Middle School.
That sounds right.
And what was a DARE program?
Drug abuse resistance education started by Nancy Reagan. It was educational material, usually for middle school students, to come in and talk about drug prevention.
And he was at the school for approximately 12 to 15 years, right?
Sounds right.
And he recalls the RAD program. What is the RAD program? Is a rape aggression defense program.
Yes.
And the RAD program, who did he tell you was offering that program at the school?
I don't remember.
Tell you who was offering it then?
That sounds right.
Robert Devine, right?
Yes.
He's outside, right?
Yes.
You know him.
I do.
And he told you that basically they work together in this program at the school, right?
I don't remember that. If it's in the record, then
It's 154. I'm sorry, page 154. You are right the first time. Top of the page. Didn't highlight. And was Rob Devine involved in teaching the class along with his wife? I believe so. So his wife was at the school with Mr. Devine. At the same time, they were both working there with the students, correct?
I don't know the construct of it. I know he referenced it based on what you have in front of us here.
Now, there was something at the gym called at the school, when we're talking about the school, it's the O'Donnell Middle School, right?
Right.
What is the O'Donnell Middle School? How many grades is it?
It's, 5 through 8.
5 through 8?
Yes.
8th grade. So, and that's where Mr. Devine worked, right? To the 8th grade?
Yes.
How old are 8th grade students?
7th and 8th grade, 12, 13, 14-year-old kids.
So that would be the age group he'd be working.
Sure.
And they had open gym at the school, right?
Right.
And the open gym was chaotic. Oh, it's right there. Did Mr. Hardy tell you that the open gym was chaotic?
I don't remember. I know it was chaotic.
Sorry?
It was chaotic.
It was chaotic. Well, 30 kids a day and they're running around, right?
I mean, it varied.
Well, Mr. Hardy told you there was about 30 kids there a day, right?
If that's in the record, then that's accurate.
The next page, 155. On the page. And he called it chaotic, is that correct?
I don't see it up there, but if it's up there, it's on the record.
And he worked at the Devine with the open gym, right?
Yes.
And he never saw Devine disappear with any students, did he?
I don't believe so.
He also told you that he never saw Devine alone with any students, didn't he?
That sounds accurate.
Now, he also was Mr. Devine's supervisor on the 4 to 12 shift. Is that right?
What time frame?
Time frame for the 4 to 12 shift or the time frame?
Time frame that he was supervising.
Let's go to page 163. And were you present for this interview, sir?
Which interview is that?
The interview with Mr. Hardy.
I was.
And on page 63, did I say? 163?
Yep, that's
63. I can't see him. Why was it back? You were Officer L'Italiano. I'm going to say that wrong so many times.
Yes, sure. According to this record, this is a different interview, I believe.
Well, that was never put in your report, that he was a supervisor, right?
No.
And he never had a problem with Devine responding to calls timely, did he?
I don't think so, no.
That was excluded from the report, wasn't it, sir?
Yes.
He never saw Devine cruise around with females in a car or in a cruiser. Is that correct?
I believe that's accurate.
That wasn't in the report, was it?
It was not. If it's in the record, then yes.
Let's look. 165 to 166. Look at the bottom. It says, you're referring to SB on bottom of page 165. Oh, down. Did you?
That's correct.
That wasn't in the report, was it, sir?
No, it was not.
And in fact, SB reached out to Sergeant Hardy. Is that correct?
I don't know.
Page 73 to 173 to 174. I'm talking about SB, he wrote at the end, did you have, he's asked, okay. So she just showed up someplace where he was and reached out to him and said, I'm joining the military.
In this case, no. It appears that there was a call for service and he was there. Sergeant Hardy, that is, and SB lived in that neighborhood, Park and Haynes, and she just started talking to him at the call.
And she was the type of person that would walk up to you and just talk to you, right?
Right.
That was her, the thing she did. She just approached police officers, talking.
Yes.
Right? All right. So I want to draw your attention to Officer Tracy, IA report, page 60. Now, Officer Tracy used to be a friend of Mr. Devine, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, ask me this, the juvenile task force, it had an office in the police station, didn't it? And whose office was it?
Two juvenile officers and the DARE officer at one point in time.
And the juvenile officer who was in that space frequently was Mr. Devine, is that right?
Right.
And that was basically his office while he was there, right?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Tracy was so friendly with Mr. Devine that he used to call for them, right?
I don't know that, but I'm not surprised.
They went to Cedar Hill together, the vacation to Disney.
Yes.
Now, he worked with Devine as a school resource officer. They had open gyms at the middle school. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So he also worked with Mr. Devine, right?
Right. Yes.
Now, Devine's office was at the police station, right?
Right.
In his office has a glass door on it, right?
Right.
And there's cameras in the building, right?
No, not in that part of the building.
On that part of the building. So he saw that he thought was a student, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, how old are the middle school students?
12, 13, 14, 15.
And you wrote that. So you wrote down that it was a student. Is that correct?
I did.
How old was the person?
The one in question in this case was 19 or 20.
Okay. Wasn't a student.
A college student.
A college student. Okay. Page 94 of the music. Sorry, Judge. Apparently I didn't. The last night trying to do this. I have sorry, Judge. This is Brian Kavanaugh. Page 94. Okay, page 94. Sorry, 94 in this. Says. Is that what he said to you, sir?
That's correct.
Is that a question?
Yes, sir. Sir, you never asked Mr. Devine who's, did you?
I never interviewed Mr. Devine.
Do you ever ask about?
I never interviewed Mr. Devine.
Did you had the opportunity to send him 17 questions, didn't you?
I did.
And he responded, right?
Yes.
You never asked him about the person in this narrative here.
No.
Actually, you never even asked about, did you?
I don't know if that was a question that was asked by Investigator Littleine or not. I don't have it in front of me, so he may have asked about that. I don't remember what I asked him. I don't remember what the question said.
Now, sir, it wasn't the first time that pressed Mr. Tracy, or Mr. Tracy was pressed about the age of the individual that was in Mr. Devine's office. Right?
I don't remember. If I interviewed him about that and it came up more than once, then it came up more than once.
Page 93.
I don't know. I don't know what this line of question is in comparison to the other one, or how you're linking it together. I'm not really clear on this.
Page 97. You pressed Mr. Tracy about the age of this person Mr. Devine was with. And you asked, right?
Are you asking me if that was my
Was that
decision?
his response?
Sure.
That's not in your report, is it, sir?
No.
The age of the person. And when referring to SB, page 99. Page 99. So a few minutes ago, you testified that she was an explorer, and here he is telling you that he doesn't know if the person's an explorer.
I testified on my own direct knowledge that she was an explorer.
Did you see her? Did you see her in Mr. Devine's office?
I did. I had my own confrontation with him about that.
Okay. When was that?
I don't know. I mean, he was deputy chief. I think I might have been a sergeant at the time. The student had to have been anywhere 19, 20 years old. And she was hanging around all the time in his office. And I had my own, less confrontational than Detective Tracy's, but my own concern and conversation with him about, what are you doing with this kid in here? You should be more careful. The optics of it, they're not good. Okay. So I had direct knowledge about being in the station.
So you had direct knowledge it was relevant to this internal affairs report, internal affairs investigation, Mr. Devine?
No, they're mutually exclusive. You're talking about a conversation that I had with your client, in that I confronted him about having from the office. It doesn't have any place in this report. We were asking the witnesses we were asking the witnesses about people that he was in the station with, and Detective Tracy answered questions about that.
You just testified a few minutes ago that Mr. Tracy was representing that Miss was in the police station, and now you're testifying that you had firsthand knowledge about.
No, I didn't say that. I am making the assumption, or making an educated guess, I guess you could say, that the person that Tracy was talking about would have been right around the same time.
Is that fair to say?
Reached out to the department.
Well, you
I just followed the evidence.
follow the evidence. And well, it's page 15 and
If that's what I put on page 5, then that's what I put on page 5.
you have a strong moral compass on these issues, don't you, sir?
Sure.
You have a strong moral compass against relationships out of marriage too, right?
I do.
And did you speak to Mr. Devine about having a relationship when he and his wife separated for some time?
No.
Sir, would you agree that the intentional omission of significant or pertinent facts is considered untruthfulness?
Sure.
'87, sorry, '87. So at these open gyms, there's lots of people around, right?
Yes.
Kids are everywhere running around.
If it was a busy day, yes.
And did you participate in any of them?
I did.
How many did you participate in?
Not a lot. It wasn't my thing. Maybe a dozen or less.
Did you work with Mr. Devine?
Probably.
Did you work with his wife?
I don't remember working with her. It wouldn't shock me if I did.
You actually gave presentations at the Explorers program on a regular basis, didn't you, sir?
Every year I would do CPR.
And lots of officers were involved in that program, giving lectures and classes and teaching, correct?
Yes.
Was it kind of run as like a paramilitary organization, you know?
Yes.
What does that mean?
It's got a rank structure. It's the first few weeks are like a boot camp, physical fitness, and then into the classroom.
And that was all at Mr. Devine's orchestration, right?
Right.
I'm sorry, I want to ask you about the interview with Mr. Devine. So all I want to go to page 142 of the documents. Now, page 142 of the new document. Now, you said these transcripts are accurate, right, sir?
Yeah, to the best of my knowledge, yes.
To the best of your knowledge, now, right? Before you said they were accurate.
Objection, Your Honor. The form of these questions is sometimes attacking the witness.
Well, before, sir, you said that.
It's an objection.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The last objection, it's fine. Just give him a chance to answer. Go ahead. Remember the question?
Yeah, they're accurate. To the best of my knowledge, they're accurate.
Well, earlier you testified that there might be other transcripts in the world, but yours were accurate, right?
I reviewed them before they became part of the case file.
Okay. So the first question asked. Now, and Mr. Devine was on the second group of people that approved their employment for the police department, right?
I don't remember.
Well, Matthew Farwell He was a transfer from another department?
He was
What department?
Wellesley.
And William Farwell came from the State Police Academy. Right?
He had washed out of the State Police Academy.
Well, he got injured in the police academy.
He did.
And then how did he get to the Stowe Police Department?
Regular civil service list, I believe.
Now,
She was the kid that made contact. I think it might have been through Facebook, claiming about inappropriate behavior at the open gym.
and that was 20 years before, right?
Yeah, I mean, it could have been 15, could have been 20. I don't know, as I say it right now.
So it certainly wasn't the time when SB was at the school, right? It
Correct.
was well before the time SB was at the school.
Yes.
And SB was at the school and she graduated from the school in 2016.
That sounds accurate.
And came in because she read something in the newspaper, right?
I think she reached out by Facebook Messenger. I'm not sure right now.
She read something in the Globe, maybe?
But maybe, I mean, she could have been one of the ones that reached out to the state police office and then they notified us. I think that might have been how it played out. She may have.
Now, she told you, did she not, that pages 52 to 56. And when Mr. Devine was interviewed, nobody asked him a single question about
Okay, so I mean, we
Is that true?
had tried to schedule a second interview, but I don't know the timetables about whether or not it was information we learned after his first interview or not.
And in the middle, Mr. Devine had retired, right?
Right.
And the fact that he retired is something that you held against
You talking about in my summary,
him. Yeah,
draw a negative inference sort of thing?
yeah.
Yeah, I think I probably did that.
But he agreed to answer questions, and you sent him 17 questions, right?
I did.
None of those questions involved Mr. Devine.
I don't know what the questions say. Okay, so it says it earlier in the report.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it says it earlier in the report, page 5, right?
Page 5 of the report, page
That's correct.
15, page 15 of the
That's correct.
and you got that information, and you pursued that information based upon what you were told about something about being hugged 20 years before, right?
So I think I got the information through the Mass State Police. She first spoke with them, if I remember correctly, and then they passed the information along to us.
Well, page 56. Original documents. Put it flat into the page. This isn't from the Mass State Police, sir, right? Let's. Sir, the accuracy of your report is important, isn't it?
Sure.
We've already discussed that.
I don't know what you're asking me.
Rephrase the question. I have page 26 of the original EIN. Now, at the bottom of the page,
Objection, Your Honor.
Yeah, sustained. Yeah.
And this isn't, quiz on the dictionary. We all agree that those are two different words with different meanings. I'm not quite sure why this is within his knowledge, but
Judge, I'll get to it within, as soon as he answers the question, we'll get to it. So as they find out what his understanding of the difference in the words.
All right. But if you're telling me you're going to tie this up,
I am going to tie it up.
are you able to give you want him to define each of them?
Yes, well, what's the distinction between you won't find it versus you wouldn't find it?
So you won't suggest that it's not there, you're not going to find it. You wouldn't find it is, I don't know, less affirmative, softer word usage. Wasn't prepared for an English quiz, sorry.
Right?
Right.
You wrote in your report. Have a second, Judge. No.
Redirect.
just briefly. Now, you testified that the record for this investigation was at a minimum in the tens of thousands of pages, correct?
Yes.
Perhaps even tilted the 100,000 page mark.
Yes.
However, your report is only 60 pages. Is that correct?
That's
Approximately.
correct. Yes.
And the purpose of your report is to summarize the relevant, or what you believe to be the relevant information for your findings.
Objection to the leading form of the question. This is what it is.
Yeah, I'm allowing some redirect on, leading on redirect, so you can make it.
So the purpose of your report is to summarize the relevant information and condense it. Is that fair to say?
It is.
Can we pull up in the original exhibits, page 26, beginning at findings? And can you scroll down just a little bit for the first finding? Perfect. So, is it fair to say and is your interpretation of that, of his answer there, is that explaining the text message that's at exhibit 19?
Objection.
Yes.
And this is in the original batch of exhibits. Can we go to page 505? Can you read the first blue text message on that page? Do you know if it was a former police explorer?
Was.
Just staying with this one for a minute. Just who are those? Who's that communication between?
That one is between, I'm sorry, SB and Billy Farwell.
Thank you. So, sorry to interrupt.
Sorry, did you know to be a police explorer?
I did.
Were high schoolers allowed to participate in the police explorers?
Yes.
Were middle schoolers as well?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, were they in the same classroom?
They were.
Nothing further.
With regard to the exhibit that's on the screen right now, which is page 505 of the original document, it says,
Right.
he has two kids.
Who he?
If this is Devine, Robert Devine doesn't have one kid. He has two kids, right?
I mean, I don't know from the context, who they're talking about. He's asking. You know,
Exactly. But you'll agree with me that Robert Devine has two children.
he does.
Is that right?
Objection, Your Honor, to characterize it as a story.
She told something differently.
Well,
Sorry.
it doesn't change the question, so go ahead and answer. If you can.
I can't. I mean, these text messages were all over the place. I don't know when that story started.
Well,
Reference to that.
the date on this one that you just looked at is that we're looking at right here.
That's right.
I'm sorry, Judge, I'm just scrolling here to see. I believe it's the same thing. I ask you to read page 502 through page 505.
Okay.
Regarding your findings, page 26. The findings 1, 2, and 3 are made based upon the facts as they are uncovered in your investigation, correct? Sorry.
What page did you say?
26. The first one you're.
Yeah. So the findings are based on the entire investigation, totality of circumstances.
So when you're asked a question, well, it doesn't say the name of this person, that person. That's not exactly true, is it?
Objection.
In that form, sustain.
Well, the totality of the circumstances include the statements made by individuals, correct?
Objection. We're beyond the scope of redirect.
No, giving you a question about the findings, objections overruled.
So ask it one more time, please.
Well, the findings are based upon, you said, the totality of the circumstances, right?
Yep.
And the totality of the circumstances means what?
Basically, the whole case, all the evidence, things that we looked at, interviews we conducted, all that.
And does the evidence include the statements of the persons involved that are spoken to?
Sure, the relevant ones are included in this summary report.
Okay. And we've discussed those here, right?
Right.
And you've included those when drafting these findings. You incorporated those into these findings by stating that the totality of the circumstances, because they're all encompassed. Well, that's a bad question.
I'd agree.
The totality of the circumstances includes the witness statements. Is that correct?
Sure.
So when you're asked by Mr. Martinez that these findings don't include the statements of this person or that person, that's not necessarily true because they're all incorporated under the totality of circumstance umbrella, which is why you drafted this.
No, I agree with Mr. Martinez's statement that the report is a summary of the investigation. The entire case file contains every single piece of evidence, every transcript, every recording, everything, including the cell and hard drive. So if anybody wants to delve further into any of it, all the evidence is here. as we're seeing, with this proceeding.
Well, I just want to know that when you drafted the findings, whether or not included witness statements. You consider the witness statements.
What are you asking me again?
When you drafted these findings, whether or not you considered the witness statements of the persons that are included in your report.
Sure.
Nothing further.
Before I let you go, the last thing you want to do is hear a question from me as well, but just for clarification purposes. These interviews are recorded interviews, and in each instance, did you intend for them to be transcribed?
I did.
And you knew, in fact, did you, and to some extent, you reviewed these transcripts after they were transcribed?
I did.
To compare them to the audio version?
I mean, the audio and then my recollection of things that were said. So yes. I mean, any typos, any mistakes that are in there, I can take ownership of them. That's correct, Your Honor.
And what was your intention with regard to where those if somebody had access to your report, what was your intention with regard to the availability of those transcripts to which you referred?
I wanted everything that I had shared with all the appropriate agencies. So, the standard process for me for doing an IA, make an audio recording, send it to a transcriber, print the transcriptions, permanently preserve it.
In the usual course, would you intend for them to be actually attached to the IA report?
Yes. I mean, just to further explain a little bit, Judge, the case file for this case was 2 of these. And then one was the all the like the report and all the other stuff. And the second was nothing but transcriptions. So there was transcriptions from the interviews that I had done, and then some exhibits for, like, I think the transcriptions and the state police reports that I considered for the case.
And back on June 6th or 5th, when we had you here last, was your understanding that those 2 binders, if you will, had been provided to the Post Commission?
Yes. So there was a lot happening in the department when I started sharing those files. I believe the chief might have been away at the National Academy in Quantico. So it was a pretty hectic time. If anything didn't get shared and it's my responsibility, I take ownership of that as well. If I didn't send the transcripts, that's on me. The department had a lot going on at the time. I'm not one to thumb my nose at procedural or substantive due process. So it was my intention to make sure that everything was shared.
When you testified here, did you believe that they had actually been transmitted?
I did, Your Honor.
Further, I'm going to excuse you.
Your Honor, if I may, if I ask to reopen the testimony, well, the journal. I'd like to discuss the journal.
Oh, a completely different topic. You had said it earlier. But
Yes, I said it earlier, and I was behind me, and I just asked the court's efforts to just.
how much time do you expect to
5 minutes.
5 minutes. You object to that?
I don't object, because in theory, he could recall him on his case. So
That's good. I wouldn't even think of that.
So
Your lawyer's doing a good job for you. All right, but really keep it short.
Sure. Page 470. Tell us where you got that document.
Well, this was, I think I got it from a box of property that I received from the state police.
And would that be part of a journal that you were provided by the family?
Yeah, I don't remember seeing a journal. May have.
Page 934. I'm sorry, 475. And that would be part of the document you received as well, sir?
It appears so, yes.
We go to page 28.
28.
Did I read that right, sir?
Second page.
Sorry, page 28.
May 17th. I'm on 28. I don't see that.
28, I think he said.
28.
Is that where you are?
I am, sir.
It would be the IA report, page 18.
Ah, okay.
Is this part of the documents you received from Attorney Marulo?
Yes.
So you're aware, sir, that there's an entire journal that was attached to those documents. Are you not?
Like I said, I don't remember seeing a journal. I could have been there.
Could have been there.
Yes.
You only picked 2 pages out of it, sir?
Yes. It could have been more. There's a lot of papers here.
Objection, Your Honor. He's already testified he doesn't recall a journal.
Are you able to answer that question?
I don't remember seeing a journal. Big box of papers. Of
What it could have been, right?
course.
Big box of papers you received? Is that correct?
Yes. It
Where's the big box of papers now?
was returned.
It was returned.
Let's see.
So you're aware that there was a journal that was provided by Mr. Marulo
Objection asked and answered.
that
Sustaining them.
copy those documents, sir? Did you receive?
I copied the documents that I have in the case file.
Why did you copy these 2 documents?
They seem relevant.
Why wouldn't you keep the whole journal, sir? All the documents?
Just like I said, I picked ones that seem relevant to this case.
Well, if they excluded one person over another, wouldn't that be relevant to this case, sir?
My job was to investigate policies, procedures, rules, and reg violations, not investigate the death of SP.
Your Honor, I move the journal into evidence.
Well, we'll wait to talk about that until the witnesses. Do you have any follow-up questions on that issue?
No.
All right, I'm going to excuse the witness. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron.